Hello, everyone. Scribbler Johnny checking in before we continue. I know things got pretty rough last chapter, and just want you to know that it doesn't stay that dark. As always, there is healing, but there must be something to heal from. So I hope you're doing okay, and I hope that you're still with me as we conclude Pendulum. That's right, we are going for a longer stretch this time, and we're going to finish the story. All right. Now, where we left off, our friends were going to confront Katsumi and Gongdora, and something that I didn't spend enough time on as I was working on the story originally. This is the first draft. Was I was going to spend more time showing how Katsumi's health had been deteriorating due to her parasitic relationship with the other dimensional entity she called Gongdora. It gets shown in little snippets and flashes, but I had intended to flesh out that story some more as time went on, but due to my health issues, that's likely never going to happen. So here we are, Pendulum. Katsumi was wearing a halter top and a flounced miniskirt. She looked emaciated. What had the monster done to her? Suddenly, though, she looked healthy and beautiful. She waved and ran up to him. Pivot! How cool to meet you. Wait, are you Programmer Negazawa? She asked. No, that's my partner, Craftsman. What have you been doing? Do you realize it's murder? Gongdora looked around. I smell other humans, but the light makes it hard to see, he said. Katsumi, masks don't turn each other in. I'm asking you to stop this, Pivot said. But they're perverts. I'm making Yokohama safer, Katsumi protested. Murder isn't the solution. Those men are sick, and they need help. They have jobs and families usually. Some of them have children, Pivot said, keeping calm. Gangi is warping your mind and hurting your body. You look like the Walking Dead, girl, Pivot added. Gondora is my friend, she yelled. Do you remember the last time you ate? She paused. She had no idea. Trash noodles 2 nights ago, Gondora said. But when did I eat? What did I eat? Katsumi asked him. Katsumi, Gondora is an alien monster. Step out of the way so we can kill it, Craftsman said, coming out from hiding. Akane watched from above, wishing she could hear what was being said. Pivot held up his blacklight. It revealed nothing. He flicked it off and set it down on the bench. Pivot waved Katsumi forward. Here, I have a sports drink you can have, Katsu-chan. He opened the bottle. She ran to him and took it, gulping thirstily. Slowly, the illusion faded. He gently touched her shoulder and then stepped behind her. Gondora, show yourself, monster! You don't belong in this world, Pivot shouted. No, I like the advantage of not being seen, Gongdora replied. Craftsman then noticed a humanoid blur through his multi-optic goggles. I've got heat signature, he shouted, and he began shooting the blur with paintballs. Besides hurting, the paint splatters revealed parts of the monster. Craftsman was able to shoot each hand and a leg. Pivot threw a box of chalk dust at the creature. Akane gasped. What was it? Gongdora coughed, brushing the dust and paint, but only smearing them around. Pendulum led Katsumi away to the relative safety of a tree nearby. He also gave her a candy bar. It's not the best, but it will give you energy and calories at least. We need to kill your friend, Pendulum said. And then she ran, jumped, transformed into her ball of rock shape, and slammed into Gongdora's chest. She orbited around, built up momentum, and hit him again in the back of his head. Fluids leaked, further revealing the monster. Wolfgal and Oni Girl howled, charging in for the ambush. I wish it was some epic confrontation, but really, they destroyed Gongdora. The quivering pieces of Gongdora began to evaporate before their eyes. The harbor sentinels let out a whoop. Their battle had been recorded by Craftsman's wing drone and his crawler drone. Harbor sentinels! Don't mess with Yokohama! Pendulum shouted. They called an ambulance for Katsumi and watched from the darkness until she was safely aboard, receiving medical care that she desperately needed. Garukatsu helped destroy an alien intruder named Gongdora. We, the Harbor Sentinels, make her an honorary mask and sentinel. Hashtag Aru. Pivot tweeted. Each sentinel retweeted it, and Wolfgal also said, Garukatsu is recovering in the hospital. Wish her well, masks in Yokohama. Hashtag Aru. The Howl tweets and retweets piled in. Hashtag Aru Garukatsu. Mask, one of us, tweeted Frogman. Akane had watched it all. She was so proud of her son. She created a Twitter account for Yokai Girl just to publicly declare that she was proud of her son Pivot. Each sentinel made a note on their profiles that they were harbor sentinels, the masks who defend Yokohama from outside interference. They went home. I have named my pain Benkei, Motoko said. What is it, my love? It is named Harbor Sentinels. We must crush them. Surely others will hate them. Toko, they just killed an alien with video proof. Live video. Who will hate them but us? Benkei asked. You're right, but once again you've earned my contempt, darling, Motoko said. Everyone is hated by someone. People even hate Go-chan. Benkei detected a trap. He did not voice any further opinion, especially not about Go-chan or his music. Later, Pivot replied to Yokai Girl's tweet, It's true, she's my mom. I love you, mama. Hiroi came home and immediately hugged his father and stepmother. I just want you to know I love you, and that I'm grateful to you for taking care of me, he told them. Shin, Megumi, Chiharu, and Emi went to Megumi's apartment. She gathered her parents for a big announcement. I am dating both Shinichi and Hiroi, and I'll marry them both, and we're all going to live together as a family. This is Chiharu, by the way, she said. Chiharu bowed. We won't pay for 2 weddings, her dad said. Megumi laughed at this. You won't have to. We'll take care of things, she replied. Well, whatever makes you happy and gets us grandchildren, her mom said. Megumi hugged her fiancé and her sisters goodbye. Chiharu followed Shin and Emi as they left. I can't get over it. Marriage or not, it feels weird that she's still in high school, Chiharu said. Emi grabbed her shoulder. We've gone over this, Boob Fairy. Do not dare disparage our relationship. Megumi is awesome. Our men are awesome. Full stop. She said it and gritted her teeth. Don't push me, tits. I can express my feelings, Chiharu said. After the nest and our battle? Shin demanded. I ought to punish the both of you. Oh yeah, Shin. Alpha Wolf me some more, Emmy said with her eyes glowing. Both of you behave, Shin said. Shin, why are we all irritable all of a sudden? Chiharu asked. We need to do a med scan. Emmy, quickly drive us to my place, please. Yes, sir, Emmy replied. And then victory coitus! She pumped her fist in triumph and drove to Shin's apartment. Hidori was almost surprised to find his bed was empty when he entered his room. He felt a warm glow of love suffuse him. He just wished he had a lover in his arms to share it with. Megumi was in a similar state. She lay in her bed and wished someone were with her. At Shin's apartment, the med scan revealed nothing out of the ordinary. Hanako, can you detect pregnancy? Chiharu asked. Not in early stages, Hanako said. But once a zygote is formed, I can detect that. Zygote, Emmy giggled. They looked at her. What? I think it's a funny word. Like aphrodisiac, she replied. Do you imagine a psychic goat and a dancing maniac with an afro? Shin asked. Emmy nodded and giggled. You know me so well, Shin-chan. Chiharu just nodded and smiled. She was still adjusting. I just can't believe that anger was natural, Chiharu said. I was ready to fight over it. Emmy gave her a hug. I'm glad we didn't. I don't want to fight you. Because you know I'd beat you easily? She asked. Chi, let's not do this. Besides, no powers and your absence of ass is mine, Emmy retorted. Girls, you're both pretty. Stop this, Shin retorted. Right. Victory coitus! Emmy cheered. Stop saying coitus, Chiharu shouted. Only if you stop complaining about Megu being a sexy schoolgirl, Emmy countered. Graduation isn't that far away, right? Chiharu asked. Right, Emmy replied, and then tickled her belly. They did not have victory coitus. They drank some tea and watched an old Yakuza movie on TV. Man, gratuitous boobs lose their charm if you don't get the time to admire them, Shin complained. The 1970s were an odd time, Emmy agreed. Chiharu laid her head on Shin's lap. You're my battle sister, Emmy. I do love you, Chiharu said. Oh, I love you too, Chi-chan, Emmy replied. I'll cut 'em and you'll smash 'em. They bumped fists. Shin happily gave each of them a grope. I think big boobs are beginning to appeal to me, he remarked. But he fell asleep before things went any further. Yeah, let him sleep, Emmy suggested. Need a ride to any job interviews coming up? Tomorrow? No, but driving to turn in applications sounds good, Chiharu replied. Then it's a date, Emmy agreed. The next morning, Shin was busy checking his company's remote access networks and other work that he could do from home. Sitting in his socks, boxers, and a robe, smoking. There's my husband one day, Chi thought. She and Emmy both kissed him. Goodbye for now, Shin-chan, Chiharu said. Chi-chan gots to get paid. Get out there and earn, baby, Shin replied. I'll show you what I'm made for Mama later, Emmy called out. And then while driving, she asked, Why don't you have a job? Emmy laughed. I do. I'm a criminal. I also have a great big trust fund. I might go into porn just for a paycheck, though. Don't do that, Emmy, she pleaded, shocked. Hey, it's a real job. They have to work just like everybody else. They pay their taxes. They provided necessary service, Emmy said. Well, I guess you're right, but I don't want my sister doing that. The point emerges. You would feel shame if I were an adult video actress. Yes. Why? It's my body. I'll be safe. I'll be satisfied with my work. But won't it ruin sex for you? Not me, Emmy laughed. Well, don't the Yakuza control the industry? Not really. Most studios are subsidiaries of other film studios. They just use different brand names and actors. Well, that makes sense. Chiharu hurried to change into professional clothes once they arrived, and she also showered, although she had already showered with Shin and Emmy earlier that morning. Do you really want to hide your hot boobs like that? Emmy asked. Yes, mine are for my family only. You can give yours away, but I keep mine guarded, she retorted, straightening her blouse. Well, I guess distracting the other accountants would be bad, Emmy agreed. Chiharu gave her a hug. Thanks for calling me sexy. Well, it's true. Nothing wrong with being a boob fairy, Emmy replied, giving her a hot squeeze. Your boobs are squishing mine, she complained. I know, it's fun. She escaped from her grasp. If you say so. She and Emmy had a productive day of job hunting, meaning Chiharu handed over almost all of her printed off resumes. Days later, Megumi, Chiharu, Shinichi, Emmy, and Hiroi all wanted to visit Katsumi at the hospital. The nurse apologized. I'm sorry, sir, but only family can visit at this time. Is Mr. Fukugawa here? He knows me, Hiroi said. The nurse sent a nursing assistant to check. Gonbei Fukugawa followed her back. He smiled. Ah, Matsui-san, how good to see you, he said. Nurse, please let these people visit Katsumi. They are the best thing to lift her spirits. He looked them all over. They are dear friends. Very well, but only a brief visit, the nurse conceded. They bowed gratefully and followed Gonbei to the room. I love you, Go-chan, Emmy blurted as they walked. He thanked her with a smile. They slowly entered the room. Katsumi was connected to an IV drip and monitors. She smiled and gave them a weak wave. Emmy shouldered to the front, holding a stuffed husky. It's the best I could find, she said apologetically. Wolfgal says that you are a member of her pack now, and she let out a soft howl, handing over the toy. The others also howled. Ow! Katsumi replied. Hiroi gave her a peace rose in a blue glass vase. It smells lovely, she said. Pivot put out the word. You are an honorary mask. She smiled. Thank you. It made her feel so proud to be like her father and Pivot. Megumi gave her some sugar-free gummy bears. I don't think they would allow the sugary kind since your diet has to be controlled carefully for the next while, she explained. Chiharu gave her a get well soon card that showed a lion wearing a tiara and sipping tea. Katsumi giggled. You are also a member of the Harbor Sentinels, the defenders of Yokohama. Pendulum seconded the motion, Chiharu said. Best for last as always, Katsu-chan, Shinichi said. Megumi and Chiharu helped me make your first mask. Katsumi sat up with Hiroi's help. Shin took the mask out of the gift bag. It was a domino style, made of turquoise fabric with white edges. Katsumi wept. It's beautiful. It's the mask of someone who's here to help. Like Big Man, she said, looking at her father. Gonbei nodded, holding back his own tears. Shin helped her to put on her mask, and they applauded. Katsumi the hero! Megumi cheered. You make us proud, Emmy said. Katsumi lay back down, smiling. After you're all better, you will be requested to join the Harbor Sentinels for a welcome party, Hiroi said. I'll be there. You tell them I'll be there, she said. Gombe followed them out the door. Did you call the ambulance? He asked. We did, Hiroi replied. She was the victim of an alien parasite. We killed it, Shin added. That's why. Gombe drifted off. It created an illusion to disguise her failing health, Hiroi said. I thought Gongdoro was just her gift manifesting in an odd way, Gombe said. She may yet develop a gift when she recovers and she grows up some more, but she may not. We still don't understand where our gifts come from. It might be hereditary, but we just don't know, Hiroi said. Go-chan, will you sign my breast? Emmy blurted, pulling open her blouse. I don't do that, he said. I'll autograph pictures and stuff. Please cover yourself, miss. For the first time, Emmy was embarrassed to show off her breasts. She blushed and hurried to button her blouse, apologizing. They asked a nurse assistant to take a photo with Shin's camera. Thank you. Can Big Man come to meet the harbor sentinels? Gobei asked. Yes, sir, Hiroi said. They left the hospital. He didn't like my boobs, Emmy said, near tears. Of course he liked them. He's just classy and doesn't autograph boobs, Hiroi replied. Right, Emmy said, smiling. Classy. Hiroi had an idea. Let's have a late night swim. I think it would be marvelous, he suggested. You mean all alone at the pool at night? Chiharu said. Just like that beautiful night. My only suit is my one-piece swim team uniform, Megumi complained. So buy a new one, Shin said. I need to buy one too, Emmy said. So we'll go together. Oh, sure, the sex goddess and the brick, Megumi griped. Excuse me, Shin said, but I will not stand for any disparaging of my bride's beauty or shapes. You are awesomely sexy. It's true, Hiroi said. You know we can't get enough of sexy Megumi. Emmy and Chiharu nodded. You're Hiroi's favorite, Emmy said. I can't compete. He doesn't have to hold back with you. Chiharu nodded. I'm so small and skinny he's scared I'll shatter. Hiroi nodded, but his face was sad. I am scared of hurting them. But our brick wall babe can take it all and ask for more. Megumi blushed. I can take everything you've got. Are you as turned on as I am? She asked. Hiroi nodded. First swimsuit shopping, just us girls, Emmy interrupted, pulling the women away. But I was going to have ugly duckling sex, Megumi protested. Oh, you'll get it after the swim, Swan Girl, Emmy countered. Hiroi and Shin watched them go. I just got cock-blocked by a nymphomaniac. Up is down, Hiroi said, stunned. Shin pulled him towards his car. I got work to do on Oni Girl's new costume. Take me home, Shin ordered. Hiroi drove him home. Seriously though, bro, Emmy cock-blocked me, Hiroi said. Relax, Shin ordered. I'm as terrified as you by the implication. You're the level-headed one. Relax so I can relax. Hiroi took a few deep breaths. All is as it should be, he told himself. Sexy swimsuits, Shin added. The sharp existential dread was slow to leave, but in time they calmed. Hiroi left Shin outside the front entrance of his apartment and drove to Games Corner instead. Someone surely would play Go with him. Hiroi found an elderly gentleman to play with. He introduced himself as Alzora. Hiroi responded in kind, introducing himself as Matsui. After 12 moves, Alzora-san asked, Do you know Emmy? She's a neighbor of mine, and you seem familiar. Emmy placed Hiroi placed his black piece at an intersection. He admitted to knowing Emmy. How did she get that spot of tan on her chest? Alzora asked. Hiroi was tempted to forfeit and leave, but he took a breath. It's a transplant. She needed a transplant, Hiroi lied. Alzora frowned and placed a white piece. Was she in an accident? He asked. I think it's her business to tell you if she decides, Hiroi said after placing his next piece. Do you wish to take that move back? No, it's her business. I meant your move, Matsui-san, Alzora pointing at the board. Hiroi then nodded, seeing the potential ruin. They both removed their pieces, and Hiroi made a more prudent placement. Alzora lost, bowed, and thanked Hiroi for an excellent game. Hiroi bowed and thanked Alzora-san for allowing him to correct his mistake. Hiroi bought him a cup of green tea at a cafe nearby. Closest thing to a perfect game I ever played, Alzora said. Since you have seen Emmy's spot, I assume you have seen her masked as well? Oh yes, she has a wolf mask. It is both fierce and endearing, like she is. I once wore a mask of a peregrine falcon. Hiroi bowed deeply. It felt right. Emi-chan was wounded. My girlfriend put her own flesh into the wound, and it healed her. Ah, so. Yes. You love them both, I can tell. Yes, sir. Azora grew wistful. I loved a mermaid. And my Michiko, of course. But I could only marry Michiko. Hiroi nodded sympathetically. I wonder if somehow I might walk into the ocean and see Lulu coming to meet me. Alzora sipped his tea. They live longer than us, you know. Maybe she wouldn't know me if she saw me, he mused. Hiroi only grunted. You hold on to your women, Matsui. Love them and hold on with both hands. Then Alzora shuffled slowly away. Hiroi watched him go. He returned to Games Corner. Eri still wasn't there. He visited his mother. The gallery was empty. Mom, Hiroi began, I'm happy to make you proud, but why don't you love me? Why aren't I good enough? My maternals are broken and can't be fixed, son. I just can't be a normal mother. I don't know how to nurture, and I'm not good at love either, she replied. I thought some switch would get flipped, and being pregnant would change everything. I'm sorry it didn't. I truly am. Hiyori came closer and wrapped his arms around his mother. I love you, Mom. And what I want most is for you to love me. Akane held her son. I do love you, son. You are all that is good about me, but you have Goro's open heart, not my snowball. That is why I named you Hiroi. You are wide open, with so much courage and kindness. I'm so proud of you. The bands of their glasses clicked against each other, and for that shining moment, mother and son knew each other. I want you to be at my wedding, he said. I will be there. Will it be that Emmy? Megumi first, he replied. Akane smiled. So big and open, one woman isn't enough for your love. Hiroi could only nod, and he waved goodbye before leaving. Be better than me, Hiroi. You don't really need me. You're a dragon. At the swimsuit store, Chiharu noticed Emi and Megumi's bracelets with the Chinese zodiac animals engraved upon them. Yet another thing that they had without and before her. Your bracelets are lovely, she admired. They are a small token of our love. It was really rocky at first, Emmy said. Megumi explained the bracelets. Chiharu swallowed her envy. They all had little intimacies and special memories apart from each other. After all, she'd created the ritual abasement, hadn't she? Emmy couldn't find a suit that revealed enough to satisfy her and fit comfortably, so she settled on a gray and gold bikini that had removable nipple covers. That way I can still grab the attention, Emmy declared from the changing room. Be sure yours is like that too, Megu-chan, so you can get the attention. Megumi sighed with relief that she hadn't said, on your queen-sized nipples. Emmy showing restraint was a bit odd, she decided. Emmy couldn't decide what colors looked good over her skin, but also were in a style that she liked. Chi-chan, you pick, please? Try that maroon one once again, Chiharu suggested. Megumi found it and tried it on. The string bikini, because non-tied suits just would not fit her bulk, was dark, but it was complementary to her tan skin. It didn't have any nipple covers to worry about. It made her hips look like hips. Megumi smiled at her reflection. Perfect, she declared, and she stepped out so that her sisters could see. Emmy moved her hands to mime a viewfinder. Nishidake-san, is our model ready for the pool? Emmy asked. Yes, indeed. Emmy, what is your last name? She replied. Inukawa, Emmy said. Inukawa-kun, she is perfect, Chiharu agreed. Worth 50 photos at least, Emmy agreed. Megumi shrank within herself and waved them off. Cut it out, guys, I'm embarrassed. The clerk applauded. Miss, that suit shows off your awesome muscles, but also helps keep your femininity. I think it's very appropriate. Megumi bowed. Yeah, 3 sexy babes together, Emmy added, and then had to stop herself from letting out a howl. Later, Black Fan poked Entropos gently. How's the shoulder? She asked. I'm fine, thank you, he replied, looking at the pool through his binoculars. Are you sure they'll come? Black Fan asked. I'm not certain, he admitted. Well, then let's go to Ghost Alley and try to find some talent, she suggested. Good idea, he agreed, and they left. 4 minutes later, the harbor sentinels drove to the parking space and exited their cars to enter the pool. Had they waited, things might have gone very differently. They entered the employee entrance and walked past the office to the pool. The stars could be seen in the clear, still water. The dim light lent everything an aura of mystery and romance. Emmy was immediately nude and running to the pool. Chi orbited her back. Hey, this is fun. Don't think I don't appreciate the ride, but what's the big idea? Emmy asked as she rotated in midair around them. Shin took a moment to record it on his phone, and Emmy blew him a kiss. First, we wash, then we put on the swimsuits, then the pool, she said. Emmy pouted as she swung around again. Fine. Hiroi caught her, and she released her. You go change and shower too, Hiro-chan, Emmy said, giving him a kiss and pressing a finger against his lips before she retrieved her things to find the women's locker room. They adjourned to their respective locker rooms. Shin changed into some shorts. I haven't been exercising. I've gotten chubby, he confessed. Our women don't care. They're awesome, Hiroi countered. And then he looked at Shin. Really looked at him. He had muscle, and he was paler than Hiroi, though neither of them got much sun. His black hair was longer, hanging into his eyes quite often. Like now. Hiroi brushed the hair aside. Bro, you're naked. Put on your banana hammock at least, Shin said. Hiroi had to laugh. He leaned his arm against his locker and donned his Speedo, still chuckling. The women got changed, talking about how this was so nice. The air was muggy, though. Springtime in Yokohama was hot and humid, and they were eager for the cool water. Emmy didn't say it aloud, but she was morbidly curious to know what cold did to Megumi's nipples. Would they stick out even more? Would they retract? Would there be no reaction? Chiharu hadn't thought much about her own nipples, but since her sisters kept talking on and on about them, she couldn't help but think that hers might be small. Emmy's were pretty big, but not huge. Chi-chan, are you coming? Asked Emmy. Do you need to be alone to use the toilet? I know I do. Chiharu smiled. No, I'm coming, she said. And then the three of them exited to take another look at the pool, sparkling in the starlight. Shin and Hiroi walked quietly to join them. They admired the view. Emmy turned to look at them. What? She asked. Admiring the view from behind, Shin replied. The others faced them then. It was one of those magic moments where time, space, and thought are totally present and together. They all smiled from the simple joy of being and being together in a very fine place to be together. Then Emmy hopped into the water, waving. That broke the spell, and they joined her in the pool. It was cool. It was just perfect for how warm it was there in the pool, with none of the ventilation or air conditioning machines running. The water refreshed them as they swam, and they splashed like children. They laughed and allowed themselves to be young. There was a great deal of kissing and touching, tickling and chasing. They didn't need to make money or pass tests or fight anyone. They were young and in love, and it was just the best way to be. Later, there was lovemaking in the showers. Don't try that in a pool. Just take my word for it. Water ruins the necessary fluids and the friction. Just don't, okay? I wouldn't lie to you. The ocean is 100 times worse. Don't. As for Megumi's nipples, if you're curious, they got puckered by the cold water, but they were not noticeably changed otherwise. And this was not a slow, savored sort of lovemaking. It was fast, loud, and urgent. Luckily, they'd brought condoms. The lubrication helped. Catching his breath with Chi on his lap, Hiroi asked her to marry him. She bit his shoulder and let out a scream. When she calmed down, she apologized for screaming into his shoulder while biting him. Emmy shrugged. I've done it twice one day. Yes, I will marry you, Hiroi, she said, crying. I never thought you'd ask. What I thought was that I'd just live with you. Megumi clapped. My question is, whom do I marry first and which wedding is first? Megumi asked. Do you want to get the first wedding? Shin asked. All of them looked around. It was go time. Well, I don't mind getting married second as long as I still get to husband both of you, Emmy asked. My thought was a double ceremony for the first, Emmy and Megumi. I can be happy being last. I can be happy being only married to one, save on divorces. Also, since it would mean an unbalanced thing if both men married me also, Chiharu said, still straddling Hiroi. Well then, I want Hiroi first, Megumi said, at the movie theater. Yeah, me too, Emmy said. I mean, but I'll marry Shin first, and then I'll fuck Megumi's husband on our wedding night. It's so naughty. Emmy then giggled, and Megumi joined in. Sisters forever, Emmy said. You can fuck my husband on my wedding night too, Chiharu said. Oh, really? Can I, Chi-chan? Emmy asked eagerly. Chi agreed. Oh, I love you, she shouted. Just to be sure, they are talking about me, right? Hiroi asked. Shin thought for a moment. Seems to be, he agreed. Shut up, Megumi's fiance, Chiharu said, and she leaned over to kiss him. But we're engaged now, too, Hiroi protested. Megumi knelt behind him and gave his shoulder a kiss. Shut up, Megumi's fiance, Megumi said, kissing his neck. And then Chiharu jumped. Your nipples are making him hard again, she gasped. Megumi pressed her chest into his back. Come on, tit magic, she urged, and then nibbled on his earlobe the way that he liked. Feeling him rise again to the occasion, while still inserted, was a singular experience for Chiharu. She got very excited very quickly, and it was over for her in minutes. She carefully removed the condom as she slowly stood to catch her balance. She felt very lightheaded and stumbled a little, but Hiroi lightened her more, and she was soon okay. No sense letting a perfect erection go to waste, Megumi said, and took Chiharu's former position. Megu, Hiroi gasped. It's fine, we're getting married. But college, he protested. We'll handle it if we have to, Megumi said, and then filled his mouth to silence further protests, which was a dirty trick, especially since she held his head in place while rocking her hips. Hiroi quickly stopped caring. A baby with Megumi would be just fine. Emmy pouted, and then she began to fondle Shin. Give me a baby too, she urged. I can't let her be the only pregnant one. I'm sorry, I can't, Shin protested. But then Emmy used her secret weapon. She whispered into her ear in a high-pitched voice. You can touch me, she whispered. Let's make a baby, Shin-chan. Get big and hard for Emmy, she urged in a high, girlish voice. I'm not, Shin protested. Not a lolicon. Yes, you are. I still love you. Just accept it, Emmy said, using her normal voice. But then she saw Foxfire. Hi, Emmy. You're surrounded by people who can't see me, and you have not gone off your meds, Foxfire said and waved cheerfully. Emmy ignored her. Come on, Shin. I'm Chi-chan. Pretend I'm flat-chested virgin Chi-chan, she whispered, so that no one else could hear. Chiharu watched as Megumi and Hiroi called out in their passions, shuddering. Chiharu moved behind Shin and pressed her chest into his back, wanting to see if it would work for her, too. Come on, tit magic, she thought. I'm Chi-chan with little Chi-Chis, she heard Emmy whisper. Chiharu gasped. That did it. Emmy guided him in, smiling with her eyes closed, unaware that she had just betrayed Chiharu. That boner was meant for me, Chiharu thought. Emmy just used me to get him hard. She pretended to be me. The petite woman hurried to get dressed, leaving her swimsuit behind in her haste. She ran into the office and hid in the dark behind the desk, hugging her knees and sobbing. Megumi was kissing Hiroi, slowly disengaging and resuming kissing him. I love you, Hiroi. Thank you for asking me to marry you, she whispered, as Emmy began to breathe heavily. She howled at the end, twitching. Fuck you, ghost of Foxfire. I'm gonna be a mommy, she shouted. But of course, Foxfire was gone again. Everyone heard her, unfortunately. Foxfire started haunting me recently. No big deal, she said. No, that is a big deal, because Harumi was an evil witch, Shin replied. Actual evil, he asserted. Where's Chi-chan? Megumi asked, and began searching for her. Her clothes and her purse are gone, but she left her swimsuit. She called out, Chi-chan, come back. They hurried to dress. On a hunch that he couldn't explain, Hiroi checked the office. He heard the sobbing and made a gesture to stop the search. Chi-chan, come join us, please, he asked gently. Hiro-chan, please come hold me. Just you, she asked. Hiroi closed the glass door and found her hugging her knees behind the desk. He sat down and opened his arms for her. Chiharu crawled to sit on his lap and to be held by him. Her fiancé. Emmy, she sobbed. Emmy used me to get Shin hard. Hiroi waited. She sat there playing with him and speaking in a high voice, saying that she was me. She took a boner meant for me. It was my dick, Chiharu sobbed. Hiroi stroked her back, unsure what to say. She betrayed me and took what was by all rights mine. Okay, we need to talk about this. I'm certain she doesn't see it from your perspective. We're family, and that means we talk things over, and we tell each other what we feel, Hiroi said. I'm too upset, she protested. We were all worried about you, he said. And soon she dried her tears. Okay, let's have a Pentagon meeting. The locker room benches were not comfortable in either locker room, but they gathered in the women's locker room to have their meeting. Emmy, you hurt Chiharu's feelings when you told Shin to pretend that you were her, Hiroi explained evenly. I didn't mean any harm. I just knew that memories of your younger self would get him hard so that he could get me pregnant, Emmy explained, as if it were an everyday sort of thing. Leaving aside the fact that you might not get pregnant yet, you used Chiharu, Hiroi replied. You used my younger self, even, after you yelled and screamed so much about them dating me. You bitch! Chiharu yelled. That was dick meant for me! That is really twisted, Emmy, Megumi said, using his weakness against him like that, especially after all the FD business. FD? She asked. Don't want to know. Let it slide, Megumi insisted. No weakness. I do not have a Lolita complex, Shin argued. Shin, your erotic comics say different, Emmy said. It's just I like petite women. That's all that it is, Shin retorted. Well, he doesn't have any schoolgirl videos, Hiroi replied. Thank you, Shin said. The point is, she insisted, right in front of me, you made Shin pretend you were me so you could fuck him. And that's fucked up, gal. Emmy considered this. Dick meant for Chi-chan, she said softly. I stole from you. Chiharu nodded. I'm sorry, I thought that being you in his mind was so cool. I never thought I'd hurt you, Emmy said. I liked being you for what it was worth. I demand the rights to fuck Shin as Wolfgal for satisfaction, Chiharu said. Emmy howled in agreement. And all forgiven? Chiharu replied. Oh, this isn't over. You need to apologize to our men, too, and you need to hug me and promise that we're still sisters. Emmy held out her arms and she walked over to embrace her. I didn't want to hurt you. I'm so sorry. We're still sisters, and you can fuck my husband anytime you want, anybody that you want. Even Fairy Queen Natsuko, Emmy said. The Fairy Queen? Are you sure? Shin asked. Emmy glared at him. I meant what I said, human. Hiroi laughed. I haven't even met Fairy Queen Natsuko yet, he said. Well, you don't like those games, Hiro-chan. Instead, you and me play things like Naughty Nurse and bail Emmy out of jail. I hate that game, Hiroi said, sighing. I thought you loved Naughty Nurse, Emmy teased. You know which one I meant. She put on an innocent face, and then Megumi tickled Emmy and Chi. Hugs for Megumi now, she insisted, wrapping her arms around them. She couldn't reach all the way around, of course. Katsumi was released from the hospital after about 2 weeks with a special meal guide and was able to graduate from ninth grade on time. Momojisa did not try to seduce Hiroi again, but she did end up making out with Seijiro at Ghost Alley. After their high school graduation, Hiroi promised them that Pivot would not leave them and would still be their mentor and their advisor as long as they should need him. Megumi's graduation present was an engagement ring from Hiroi. Hiroi said that he and Shin had flipped a coin to see whom would marry her first. She knew that he was lying, but she forgave him. It was always you first in my heart, Hiroi, she said, allowing him to slide the ring onto her finger. They kissed, nice and officially engaged now. Momo and Jiro applauded. Congratulations, Jiro said, and several of Megumi's classmates came to admire her ring and to congratulate them. She blushed but was proud. She felt like a princess. Emmy didn't even embarrass her or expose herself. And later on, the harbor sentinels had a special meeting at the Fukugawa house. Big Man wore his uniform for the occasion. Natsumi wore her mask, but also had a blanket wrapped around her shoulders and was drinking a protein shake. To begin the meeting, they all put their hands together in a circle. Harbor sentinels protect Yokohama against all foes, Pendulum said. Against all foes, the others echoed, and threw their hands up into the air. Let's go, Katsumi cheered. Pivot and Oni Girl gave their good news. Katsumi and Big Man congratulated them. Wolfgal said, Soon Craftsman and I will be engaged too. How nice. What about Pendulum? Do you have a boyfriend? Katsumi asked. Better. I have two, Pendulum said, reaching to take Pivot and Craftsman's hands. Oh, that's not right, Big Man said. It's right for us, Big Man, Pivot said calmly. I think it's beautiful that they can all be in love. How often does anyone fall in love, Dad? Katsumi asked. Well, they're your teammates, Katsu-chan. I won't say anything more. Big Man said with a sigh. They promised to invite Katsumi to the weddings, and they bid her a swift recovery. Hiroi and Megumi later drove to his apartment alone. Chi, Emmy, and Shin went to eat at an American-style steakhouse. Hiroi's folks both congratulated them, and Megumi gave them hugs. We have a date tonight, so don't wait up, Hiroi's dad said with a grin. I'm proud of you, Megu-chan, he added. They left after putting on their formal clothes. Megumi told Hiroi to wait, and she played some romantic music. He didn't own any, so he put on the closest thing, which was Peppermint Sisters. He dimmed the lights, and Megumi came out wearing her repaired and cleaned nightgown. Her hair was loose around her face. We're really getting married, she said. I didn't think anyone would marry me. I'm so glad I found you. She crushed him in an embrace. Doesn't this hurt your boobs? Hiroi gasped. Of course not, dummy, she teased, loosening her grip, though. You're the only man strong enough to be my husband, she said, and kissed him. Also Shin, he said. Shut up and kiss me. He did. And then the front door opened, and two men in suits entered. Hiroi Matsui, your presence is requested, one of them said in very formal Japanese. Megumi glared. Are you Benten Gumi? She asked. No, we're Taiho Gumi, the speaker replied. We only deal with Benten Gumi. Please leave, she replied. Tell your woman to be silent, the speaker said. Hiroi looked at him in disbelief. You have no idea who we are, do you? He asked. No, and I don't care. Come with us, sir. Leave now, Megumi growled. You'd better go, Hiroi added. They pulled guns. Don't you dare ruin this nightgown, or your grandfathers will feel my punch, Megumi warned. Hiroi deadpanned. Oh no, they have guns. What will become of us? I'm scared. He weighed down their magazines, tearing through, which made them tear through the catches, causing them to drop. He lightened them in time to prevent any damage to the floor. You may go now, Hiroi said. They tried to reload their pistols, but it was impossible. Tell your boss we will not deal with your family. If they want to talk to us, they can talk to Musashido, or they can stay away. Next time, violence and wholesale damage of your property will occur. We are not to be trifled with, Hiroi warned. The Yakuza thugs bowed and left. Hiroi locked the door. Unbelievable, Megumi said. Where were we? Hiroi then began to caress her arms and gave her a kiss. He carried her to his bedroom, saw that it was night time and Moho's poster, with moonlight pouring through his window, onto Miss Manta laying on his bed. You don't learn! I kicked you in the face, Hiroi yelled. Why do women keep hiding on my bed? This is ridiculous. Megumi moved to stand. She opened the window and calmly hurled Miss Manta, protesting, outside. She shut and locked the window. Moho, Miss Manta is not welcome. Please see to that, Megumi said, and then she pulled the curtains to block the window. She then pulled herself back up into position to be carried by Hiroi. As you were, dear, she said. Hiroi carried her to his bed and lay her down. My muscle woman. I love you, Megumi, he said. I love you too, she said, and held out her arms to him. Fade out. Akane Musashido watched the video of the time she made love to Hiroi Matsui. It was a thing of beauty. She sipped her sake. Soon they would all be underneath her parasol, and she would be unstoppable, untouchable, safe. She slapped Toshi's head. You may go, Toshi. You aren't doing badly. It's just not happening, she sighed. Toshi crawled backwards so she could close her legs, bowed low, and hurried out the door. Akane went into her secret room and put on her girlish nightgown with cranes on it and lace trim. She hugged her plush carp and laid down in her bed. She felt like she ought to cry. In a movie, she'd be crying, but like arousal, the tears did not come. Her brother was dead, by her own hands. He could never rape her again. But he was her big brother, and she loved him. She still couldn't cry. She called up the recording of her first fake fuck with Shinichi Nagasawa, her savior. He knew the difference, and she saw the betrayal on his face. She saw his hurt and his fear. Her hands moved of their own accord, and as she grunted in release, she also wept. She was, in essence, raping them, her only friends. Did they understand? Did they forgive her? She was trying to teach them a lesson, but she couldn't put into words what that lesson was. Love was nice, but love didn't protect what was yours. Power was what did that. She had to teach them about power. They were still just boys. The streets and the night would grind them up if she didn't teach them. Still, she was betraying them and raping them, forcing them to wish for the return of her love. She didn't know how to make them see. She loved them so much, but the damned fools didn't know how vulnerable they were. Akane stared at her golden carp uniform and put it away. Her golden dragon uniform hadn't been worn yet. It displayed her tattoos proudly. Her mask was part of a helmet, but the bucket was detachable. Silk, Kevlar, ballistic polymers, golden colored everything. It was the uniform of a warlord. She would soon be chairwoman of the council and leader to thousands of soldiers. She would be the big aunt. The underworld of Yokohama would belong to her. But no more. Only Yokohama. She would take care of the community. Her home was the whole city and the nearby waters. She picked up a radio. Ruko, give Toshi one of those video games he likes. I want him to know he did well. Yes, big sister, Ruko replied. She was training Toshi well. He was her favorite nephew. The fact that he was one of Tetsuro's many unknown bastards only made things better. She wondered if he knew. After she finally allowed him into her bed, she might tell him. Would it hurt him? She hoped so. Pain was the best teacher. The lesson that anyone can betray you is the most important lesson of all. Ruko quietly entered her room, wearing a set of powder blue pajamas. She was carrying a plushie of a rock singer. Did you want a sleepover, big sister? Ruko asked. Yes. Please cuddle me. Akane did not cry this time, but Ruko did. Akane never knew, but Ruko wept for her. Only 10 sit-ups, Benkei? Pathetic, Motoko said. Benkei breathed heavily. I was never very active, Motoko, he said. No matter, we'll make you strong. We'll get memberships at that pool. Matsui might recognize us, but so much the better. Benkei nodded, then rolled over to get up. Torment him, because his rules will not allow him to confront us in civilian uniform, out of mask, or in civilian areas, Benkei said. Motoko kissed him. Precisely! You are learning. Motoko was cruel, but not always, and she was all he had. Megumi told the theater when they would like to have their wedding, and the owner kept his word and agreed to clear the schedule and have a photographer present. He had been very serious about the deal and promised the lifetime free passes. Megumi thanked him. Hiroi no longer was bothered by the idea. He was simply happy to marry his love. She was his match in all respects. Stronger, smarter, and she was genuinely good. All of his women were amazing people, and his best friends. He could think of no one he would rather spend his life with, even out in the country where Hicks said "heba" instead of "hello." Yuri kissed her on the neck. I adore you, Megu-chan. She smiled. I adore you. And I promise not to distract you from your studies, Hiroi said. Thank you. He drove her home, and he told her mother the news. She gasped. I had expected it, but I'm so happy. Welcome to the Meguro family, Hiro-kun. And she gave him a hug. Hiroi smiled and held the short woman who would be his only mother-in-law until he married Chiharu. The hug was a lingering thing. I hope your dreams come true, she said. Thank you, Hiroi replied. Finally, she released him. His shirt had a damp spot. You really are a good guy, Hiroi. I know you don't think you are, but you have a good heart. I know it, Megumi's mother said. She asked him if he'd like a cup of tea, but he politely declined, saying that he had work he needed to do. And it was true. He went straight home, took his vitamins, and drank a protein shake, and ate a sandwich, and then powered up his laptop. Work to do. He read over the actuaries' tables and checked the math. The numbers checked out. He read his office emails, stored them in a special folder for archiving. Normally, he could lose himself in his work, but today he was so bored. He turned on some music and tried to keep working. He thought of the feel of the satin nightgown under his hands, separating them from Megumi's skin, the feel of her muscles covered in the smooth fabric, her heart thumping against his palm. He closed his eyes and he rode the memory. He was going to be a married man. He was terrified, certain he would ruin it somehow. At Shin's apartment, a game of Fairy Queen had to be interrupted by a work emergency. He busied himself, still naked with glitter clinging to his skin, addressing an attack on his company's servers. Chi was checking her email. She had an interview. She replied immediately, confirming the appointment. Can you drive me to an interview? She asked Emmy and told her the date. Emmy pretended to check her calendar, but really she was on Twitter. Yes, I'm open that day, Emmy finally said. And Wolfgal tweeted, I'm in love. Aru. Emmy remembered a time when Wolfgal and Craftsman had been patrolling and fell into a big mud puddle. They took themselves to an all-night laundromat and washed their uniforms together. They were alone, but Shin couldn't have any fun with her. Well, he wouldn't, rather. So she laughed and did cartwheels naked. Shin laughed then too, but he would not dance with her to the theme music of the cartoon rerun playing on the tired looking television in the laundromat. She had been banned from that laundromat for returning the next day to show and tell people the story. She had found it too funny not to share. She had to tell patrons of the laundromat. It had happened right there. She shimmered her glittering bosom. Shin, how's work? She asked. Please don't distract me, Emmy, Shin replied. Emmy doesn't like don't, she replied. Hey, Emmy, let's play Street Fighter, Chiharu said, trying to distract her, sensing danger. Emmy crawled to Shin's workstation underneath his desk and between his parted knees. Emmy, please don't, Shin said, typing. Emmy doesn't like, she said, filling her mouth. To his credit, he blocked the intruder's IP addresses before losing all ability to concentrate. He returned to work sooner than maybe he would have, typing gibberish in command prompts. Emmy, he gently chided, that was a very naughty thing to do. My job isn't a joke. She pushed his chair away from the desk, ignoring her watch alarm. You don't need it. You can live off of selling your patents and just have lots of sex with me, she insisted. Emmy, I love you, but I do need to work, he replied. No, you need to make Emmy happy. You're very good at it. Playing games is the right way, and making Emmy feel real good. Your job is to be my lover man. Shin pushed the button on her watch. Medicine, Emmy, he said. And she shook her head no. Emmy, you need your meds. Bad things happen when you don't take your pills. But I can't remember which one's the birth control, she protested, and she was suddenly near tears. Shin will find out. Bring me the pills, he said. Chiharu watched this. So, this was crazy Emmy. Childlike, nearly helpless, but capable of murder. She shivered. Shin looked at her while Emmy found her purse. This is our lives, huh? Helping her? She asked. It's a part of loving her. She's worth it, Shin replied. Emmy returned with her pills. Okay, see this pink clamshell? This is the birth control. We'll save it for later and take one of these. This is the mood stabilizer, and this is your antipsychotic. You will take it again tonight with dinner. Did you take your morning dose? Shin said. Emmy shook her head. We'd best take one then, Shin said. She meekly took her meds, drinking a soda, and put her pills away in her big purse. It was good, though, right? Emmy asked. I asked you not to distract me while working, and you distracted me very, severely. So I did good, she smiled proudly. Yes, but you were naughty. That was bad, Emmy, Shin chided. But I do good sex, she protested. You were supposed to let me work so we could then get back to the game later, Princess Glitterbum. She smiled at her fairy princess name, but her purse was put away and Shin got back to work. Blocking the IP addresses was just a temporary fix, and Shin knew it. Chiharu convinced Emmy to play a video game with her, waiting for her meds to kick in. She intentionally lost to keep Emmy engaged. Megami was studying for her college entrance exams, and she thought of Hiroi's hands and the satin against her skin. She suppressed the thought and went back to studying. Shin was now confident that he could log off, so he left notes detailing the steps he took, saved, and did just that. Now, where were we? He asked. There were two naked, glitter bedecked women asleep on his couch. That glitter will never come off, he grumbled. Way to go, Casanova. Shin covered them with blankets and resumed work on the synthetic skin, imagining how it should work with nerve sensors, chassis integration parts, and then he paused. The chassis should have cushioning to simulate meat. Hanako wasn't a combat model after all. No sense for her not to be soft. So then he saved his notes and began work instead on synthetic flesh, firm but yielding, able to integrate with the skin to respond to stimuli, namely to stimulate arousal. Hanako said, You are going to make me able to feel pleasure and arousal, she said as she stood behind him. That's right, Hanako, Shin replied. You will have pleasure sensations and mechanical responses to autonomically do the things just like organics do. Why do you use the word organics? Hanako asked. Well, I almost said people, but I consider you a person. So I'm an inorganic person? That's right. Hmm. Thank you, Shinichi, for personhood. You two earned it. Your work and logic helped us put a stop to the murders. No one will ever tell the truth of what happened, but we will know. That's true. Atreyu showed me the battle footage, she said. Is that what I named the winged drone? Shin asked. Yes, and the crawler is Artax. My sister says they are named after a hero and his horse. Shin remembered. Atreyu had to watch as Artax sank into a swamp and drowned. It had broken young Shin's heart. That whole movie had messed with his emotions. He never wanted any pets because they would die. He remembered then Emmy crying over her goldfish, Rina and Kenji. He got back to work, but after an hour he went to his lovers and gently woke them to come to bed. There was nothing in the world better than being in the middle of a love sandwich. Love on the left, love on the right, safe. Hiroi couldn't sleep. He knew he'd ruin everything. Everyone left him, even Harumi. His love was poison. So he drove to the pool. He would clear his head. The water purified him. Black Fan was watching and saw him exit the car and enter the building. The stakeout worked, Ben-chan, she said. I have an idea. He never met Motoko, and my mask covers almost all of my face. I can get his guard down. Are you going to kill him? Benkei asked, terrified. Maybe. It depends on if he angers me, she replied. And there was a warning for him in there, Benkei was sure. Suit up and be ready to give him the business. Benkei nodded and began putting on his uniform in the back seat. Motoko slipped out into the shadows by the pool. Must be nice. She took off her uniform and had a dress on underneath it. She unmasked and handed her uniform to Entropos through the shadows. He took it and kissed her hand for luck. Mistaking it for a sign of adoration, she smirked and slipped into the pool. Her white dress seemed to glow in the moonlight spilling through the skylight, but she hid in the darkness and waited. There in the shadow realm, she saw a mask. Who the hell are you? Motoko asked. You're not dead, replied the mask. Motoko's eyes went wide. Foxfire, you're dead, she gasped. I know that, Foxfire replied. You aren't. What are you doing here? It's part of my gift, I guess. I'm Black Fan, Motoko said and bowed. It paid to be respectful to the dead. How nice for you, Foxfire replied. Why are you here? Oh, to see Matsui? Motoko replied. Yes? Well, you will leave now. That is my man over there. If you mess with him, I will make your life hell. Ever see that movie Dark Water? Motoko smiled and then reached out. Oh shit, I can touch you. Interesting, Foxfire said. And then she made a flare explode in Motoko's face. Go away, twig bitch. I'll cremate you. Motoko staggered out and then fell into the pool. Her dress weighed her down, and the disorientation made it hard for her to know which direction was up. But hands lifted her into the sweet air and pulled her to the side. She gasped and wiped at her eyes and blinked. You saved my life, Motoko said. My name is Motoko. Thank you. She kissed him. You were in the shallow end, Hiroi replied, pushing her away. Motoko stood. Oh, well, I was disoriented and I couldn't see. The water made her dress cling to her small breasts. He saw she wasn't wearing a bra. Motoko, how did you get here? He didn't know. He hadn't seen somehow. There was a ghost with fire on her arms. She blinded me and called me twig bitch, and then I was in the water, Motoko said, sobbing. I'm so scared. What's your name? Hiroi introduced himself, and then she kissed him again. He didn't push her this time. She kissed him again and held him tight. Oh, muscles. She could really like to have a Hiroi of her own to play with. She kissed him again and wrapped a leg around him, and she felt him respond. Yes, he's trapped. My hero, I love you, she whispered. And Hiroi melted. Stranger kisses were very nice. What if she wanted to... Hey, let's go someplace better and I'll give you your reward, she said with a smile. Hiroi lifted her up to the rim and climbed out. She giggled excitedly and was following Hiroi to the locker room when Entropos walked out. Shit! I mean, who are you? Motoko yelled. Entropos, Hiroi yelled. What do you want? Seeing Motoko cling to his nemesis like that made something snap. Save yourself, Matsui. Don't let that demon woman get her claws into you, too. Motoko hissed and pulled Hiroi into a shadow. Foxfire was there waiting. Get your hands off my man, twig bitch, Foxfire yelled. Oh, fuck off, Ghost. I have work to do, Motoko retorted. Keep her company, Hiroi. Motoko left him in the shadow realm and stepped back into the light. You have a world of hurt waiting, fat man, Motoko growled and yanked off his mask so that she could scratch his face. Reeling from her attack, Entropos pushed her into the water and then pulled his mask back into place. I am Entropos, and you will not hurt me any more. I'm the reason government inspectors have nightmares. I could make that roof fall on you. Do not fuck with me! In the pool, Motoko stood up. Entropos, you're upset. I forgive you, she said, holding her rage in check. No need, Toko. It's over. Now get my nemesis back from where you dragged him. Only I'm allowed to crush him. He's my nemesis. And while this was going on, Hiroi was holding Foxfire. I forgive you, Foxfire. I will always love you. But you need to move on, or rest in peace, or go into the light, or whatever it is, okay? Let go of your torment, he said. Will you give me a kiss? She asked. I love you, Hiro. Hiroi kissed Foxfire as the sodden Motoko, cowed, stepped in to join them. Listen, Motoko, can I have a moment with my deceased ex? Hiroi asked. Motoko shrugged and stepped back into the light. Listen, Harumi, you hurt me a lot, but I get it. You didn't want to be hurt. You didn't feel secure. I forgive you. Go into the light, babe. I'll see you on the other side, Hiroi said. Foxfire pulled off her mask, and Harumi gave him one last kiss. I'll see you there then. I'll come back as a better woman. For you, Hiro-chan. Look for me in the next life, okay? I want to spend a whole life making it up to you. Harumi promised, and then she walked away with one look back. Where is Pivot? Entropos demanded. He wanted a moment with his deceased ex, Motoko said. What? You heard me. I don't have to explain. Motoko clambered out of the pool, her dress ripped. Oh, real mature Tropos. That wasn't me. Motoko slipped back and waved to Hiroi. Let's go, lover boy. Show's over, she demanded. Hiroi said, So you're Black Fan. You could be cute if you weren't psychotic. I don't want to hear it. My boyfriend just dumped me. Hiroi took her hand and she pulled him out. I know it's not the best time, but think about this, Hiroi said. Your life isn't over. Talk to a therapist. Maybe take some medicine and get a new man. Or you could try again with Entropos. No, she couldn't, Entropos insisted. Right. Well, you can find someone else. You are a pretty woman, and you can be a better woman, okay? Hiroi said, and he gave her a hug. Thanks for freeing me. You didn't have to do that, he added. Motoko nodded. I have safety pins. Let's get your dress taken care of. He waved to Entropos and led her to the office. Entropos drove back to his apartment, having left Black Fan's uniform by the employee entrance. Hiroi pinned the tears of her dress together and gave her a smile. Motoko kissed him again. I like you, Pivot. Can I come swim here sometime? Of course. I won't date you, but if you promise to get help, maybe we can be friends, he replied. I'll teach you how to swim. My father's a coach. Can I have a ride home? Hiroi drove her to her apartment. Are you sure you don't want to come inside? I'll let you come. Inside, if you want, she offered. Thank you, but no. I'm engaged to two wonderful women, and soon three, and I'll marry each of them too, Hiroi said. Motoko laughed. Three women? Now who's crazy? Good luck, you nut. She slipped out, and he saw her turn on her light. She waved goodbye from her window. He drove home. He checked his room carefully. No uninvited occupants. He breathed a sigh of relief and fell into his bed. Well, he had remembered to lock the pool, right? As his eyes closed, his nose was filled with the fading scent of Megumi's perfume. He slept the sleep of the just. Emi and Chiharu took over planning the dual wedding. Hiroi and Shin found themselves needing to work at their offices quite a lot. Okay, so we're doing Western style, but we are not going to do that white wedding nonsense, Chiharu said. Right. Those people overcharge for bridal stuff anyway, especially lingerie, Emmy replied. I want a blue dress, like craftsman's uniform. Should we get a burgundy one for Megumi? She asked. Let's take her to that shop she always goes to, and let her pick out one she likes, Emmy countered. Almost time for your interview. Emmy then took her meds. Shin was going crazy. They wouldn't let him smoke in the office. This was why he worked remotely and on call. He popped a nicotine gum into his mouth. It tasted a little like orange, and that helped. He checked and tested the firewall. Boring. It was necessary, though. He looked at his ring finger. Soon he'd be married. He agreed to work hard for his women. Hiroi felt much better about himself. He'd helped to lay Harumi's ghost to rest. And good guys did stuff like that. Maybe it was time to hang it up. Just leave masking except for emergencies. He would have to discuss it with the others. That was why he didn't like teams. He wasn't his own mask. He belonged to the Sentinels. He couldn't just quit. Still, people needed to know they couldn't mess with his city. A team sent that message. At Chiharu's job interview, she got the feeling it was a done deal. It was a small enough company, but everyone had to start somewhere, and she agreed to begin as a part timer. And maybe she would go full time after a few months. The interviewer promised to call her. She left with a smile. Let's bring some provisions for our suffering sister, Emmy suggested as she buckled in. Yes, she said, smiling. Sisters of mercy, she added. They bought plenty of beef jerky and mixed nuts and those chocolate caramel things that Megu Megu loved so much. Mrs. Meguro greeted them and invited them in. Megu-chan, we brought supplies, Chiharu announced. Megumi put her books and notes aside. Thank you. I'm so glad to see you, she said, standing up to hug her sisters. And then we're going to take you dress shopping soon, at that store that you like, Emmy said, after embracing Megumi. No bothering with white wedding stuff. Why spend so much on a dress that you'll only wear once? Emmy added. Well, because bridal gowns are special, Megumi said, feeling a bit disappointed. But you're Oni girl. You're special enough for two brides, she replied. Just imagine, though, lovely dresses that you can wear other times, too, Emmy said. Neither of us want one of those frilly white cake dresses, so you'll be in good company, she added. Megumi imagined herself, really pictured herself, in one of those Western wedding gowns, her tan skin contrasting the white, which wasn't bad. Then her shoulders, her hips, her lack of bosom. She'd look like a marshmallow, toasted edges and all. And then she imagined a nice canary yellow dress, or a burgundy Oni girl dress. Okay, Megumi said, I'm in. Emmy clapped. No white wedding, hey! No white wedding, hey! She chanted, and the others took it up. They began to chant along with her and started to do an odd little stomping dance with geisha like arm poses as they chanted. Megumi's mom saw this and joined in laughing. Her small bedroom did not give them much room to move, so then they stood in place, clapping and stomping and chanting as they laughed. I guess you had to be there. So Emmy drove to Megumi's favorite clothing store, with Megumi's mom sitting up front and Megumi and Chiharu in the back. Megumi decided cramming for the test could wait. Emmy pointed at the masked mannequins and gave a snort. Megumi waved at them. Don't worry, this place has my size and their quality. The selection wasn't great, but the clerk promised their tailor could make something to order. Wong-san is very good and quick, too, she said. So Megumi looked through a book of designs. That one, with the plunging neckline. Show off your muscles, Emmy urged. Thin straps and double slit, lots of skin. No, not for a wedding dress, Megumi protested. Please, will you cover up too, as a favor to me? Emmy was stunned. You want me to not show my goodies on my wedding day? It hurt in a way that Emmy couldn't speak in words. Would I embarrass you? Emmy asked. Would you not want to be seen with me unless I was covered? Megumi held her hand. Emmy-chan, just this one time, please, so that my sister doesn't make me look bad on my wedding day? Emmy frowned. But, Megu-chan, you and me together, you make me more beautiful by being with me. And I want to show the part of my skin that's you. And you are beautiful, and if I can't show the skin, how will people know how much you love me? Megumi's heart broke at the naked pain in Emmy's face. She took a deep breath to steady herself, and she said, Emmy, I do love you, and I am not ashamed of you. Please understand, I don't have a feminine body like you and Chi-chan do. You're voluptuous. You're so beautiful that anything looks good on you. For this one day, and when I marry Shin, I want to look half as beautiful as you. If you show off your curves and your pretty skin, I'll look like a bulldog in a dress next to you. I'll wear whatever you want me to wear then. You're my sister and I love you and I never want to make you feel like you're ugly. I wish you could see the pretty woman that we see, Chiharu added. Kind, strong, unselfish. Woman that we want to be our friend for our whole lives. Megumi thanked them both. How about page 15? Emmy said. Megumi turned back to it. It's a maternity dress. I'm not pregnant, Megumi said, about to turn the page, but Emmy stopped her. I'm not either, she said. Look at the sleeves, how they are delicate like gossamer. Imagine how the skirt is high up like that, but it's over your hips, and wouldn't it make them look curvier? See the little beads on the bodice? Make your boobs sparkle in the light like crystals. And, she pointed at Megumi then, those sleeves are plenty big. show your muscles that I admire so much, but fit comfortably around them. Megumi really looked at the dress. We could be matchy, Emmy added. You'd wear this dress too? Megumi asked. Emmy nodded. Might even be pregnant by the time I marry Hiro-chan, so it's a wise choice. Megumi imagined them wearing the same dresses on their second wedding day, both of them pregnant by each other's husbands, or their own, who cared? And the idea was beautiful. Emmy stared into Megumi's eyes, and she saw, and her jaw dropped. Both of us pregnant. Oh, I like that. And then she hugged Chiharu. And you too. Fat Preggers Chi-chan on her wedding day. No white wedding, hey! Chiharu grinned. People made unkind comments about a pregnant bride, but screw them. Screw the hypocrisy and the stuffy traditions. White weddings were just like Christmas cake. A phony tradition that was romantic because people selling the crap said it was romantic. It was all that patriarchal bullshit. Here, I give you my daughter. She's wearing white to symbolize that she is virginal and pure. And here's some crap as thanks for taking her off my hands. Chiharu would be happy to be pregnant on her wedding day. Or not. At least she would be getting married. And she had a family who loved her. Emmy nudged her, interrupting her reverie. Stop imagining how big your boobs are going to get when you're preggers, she teased. I wasn't, she protested, and then she laughed. Hey, Meguro-san, some people say that the boob genes are from the papa. How big was your mother-in-law? Emmy asked Megumi's mom. She had 3 kids and was very big and plump, Megumi's mom answered. Ah, American size, like me? Emmy asked. She nodded. Well, there you have it, Emmy declared, pointing. Pregnancy boobs for Megumi. Don't overlook mine, her mom protested. It might be from the mama, and she pointed to her own plump bosom. Megumi blushed. Can we stop talking about boobs now? She said. Miss, Emmy called for the clerk. We need 2 page 15s. Megumi's in that violet color, and for me, the royal blue. The clerk took their measurements and filled out an order form. One for me, too, Chiharu finally blurted. Lavender blue. So she got measured and ordered a maternity dress for her own wedding dress. I hope that I can be your bridesmaid, too, she said. Of course, Megumi said, crushing and lifting the shorter woman in a hug. And we will all wear the dresses for all 3 weddings. With the gowns ordered, they went to eat at the soba shop. So sorry to hurt your feelings, Oyama-san, but your favorite boys are going to be marrying us, Emmy said with a grin. Which of you? The soba mama asked. All 3 of us, she said. The Oyama-san laughed at them and served their noodles. You kids. You have fun with my favorite boys and take good care of them, or I might steal them away, she said, patting at her hair. They all grinned. We will, Megumi promised. Fortuitously, Hiroi came in for some soba while they were eating theirs. Emmy made the shush gesture, and they looked down, pretending to be intent on their noodles. Hiroi looked for a place to sit, and his eyes fell upon the group. He smiled wide and pushed his glasses back. Well, 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 he said, squeezing beside Chiharu. How lucky am I? I found the 4 most beautiful women in the whole city of Yokohama sitting together. It was corny, but they still laughed. A woman liked to hear it, even from her son-in-law. They told him about the dress shopping, but did not specify what kind of dress they ultimately chose, insisting that it would be a surprise. Well, I'm certain they will be lovely. Don't forget one for Mama, too. I'll help buy if you need, Hiroi said, and handed over his credit card. Megumi took it. I'll take good care of your card, Hiroi, she promised. Let's go get Mama's dress, Emmy urged. Hiroi received 4 goodbye kisses. He had to bend over for Chiharu and Mrs. Meguro, but he didn't mind. He floated back to work. Some love was just what Hiroi needed. Maybe his love wasn't poison after all. At Shin's office, there was one woman on his team. She used the same brand of nicotine gum he did. He searched his mind for her name. Mayame. She caught him staring. He smiled sheepishly and nodded, and then popped some gum into his mouth. She raised her fist, smoker solidarity. He saw that she had a semicolon tattooed to her wrist. He gave an extra nod, and then returned to work. Hiroi drove home, tired but still content. Outside his apartment, 3 goons in suits intercepted him. Your presence is requested, Matsui, one said. We've told you. You want me? Talk to Golden Aunt, okay? I'll make things bad for you, Hiroi replied, and there was an edge to his voice. Where's your car? He asked. That's our car, one said, pointing. We'll only need a little of your time. The Yakuza goon put his hand on Hiroi's arm and tried to pull him to the car. Hiroi reached and crushed his hand and then pushed him into his friends. 2 fell, but the third staggered, still standing. Do not touch me, you trash, Hiroi said. I told your buddies in pain and in damages you would pay. He walked over to the car and he smashed the windshield with a hammer blow from his fist. Stay away from my home, my employer, and my family, or I start getting very angry, Hiroi said. The standing goon pulled a taser. Hiroi didn't see it in time and fell down as the electrical current made his nerves stop obeying him. As small pain as something was injected into his thigh. You are all dead, Hiroi said, and the curtains dropped. A tattooed man in basketball clothes made a phone call as he watched them carry Matsui into their car and drive away. Some grunts took Matsui outside his apartment. Well done. We'll take it from here, the voice on the other end replied. He hung up and walked away. Akane read her text messages. The fucking Tairo Gumi took Matsui. It's personal now, she told Ruko. Put on Golden Dragon, Ruko said. I will. Call Shinichi, she told her phone as she dressed. Shin was smoking outside in a smoke shack when his phone rang. It was Akane. Hi, what's up? He asked. Yakuza from the Tairo Gumi took Matsui. You can track him, right? She asked. He dropped his cigarette and started walking. Yeah, I can track him as long as he has his phone. I have a car en route to pick you up. Do you have your uniform? Yeah. What about our women? I'm all the woman you need. No games, Akane. We want them. This is war. Fine, get your little girls, but we won't need them. You need a real woman to take care of you, not those children you date, Negazawa. They're all adults, damn it. They're my age, and they're all blooded warriors. Calm down, Negazawa. We need to focus. Akane, will they hurt him? Shin asked. They'll try. I see the car. Meet you soon. Shin hung up. It was personal now. Yakuza had his brother. He called Emmy. Shin-chan, love you, she said. Suit up. Yakuza took Hiroi. We're dress shopping. We don't. Okay, Megumi has her uniform. Give us 10 minutes. Where will we meet? Golden Dragon's house. Damn it! Emmy hung up. He climbed into the back seat of the Lincoln Town car and immediately began to suit up. So you're a craftsman, huh? The driver asked. Yeah. I bought one of your picture watches in high school. Good stuff, man. Shin thanked him and became craftsman. They have my brother. They have forfeited their right to live, Craftsman said. Stone cold, Craftsman, the driver replied. Megumi, Emi, and Chiharu left Megumi's mom at Shin's apartment. Good thing we left spare uniforms here, Emi said, changing in the living room. Chiharu nodded, marveling at her natural modesty vanishing in the face of necessity. When they were all dressed, Mrs. Meguro said, Remember, Oni Girl is not a killer. Oni Girl looked at her mother. I make exceptions. If they hurt my husband, I can't promise they will survive. I plan to collect eyes, Wolfgal said, pulling her claws into position. They will remember the harbor sentinels. Chi, you drive, Oni Girl said. Pendulum took the car keys from the end table. Against all foes, they cheered, and ran to rescue their man. Meguro-san waved. Don't let them be changed into murderers, Kanon. Please, she prayed to the goddess of mercy. Golden Dragon greeted them each with a kiss. Craftsman returned her kiss. Our women will be here soon, he said. Good. Where's Pivot? He opened his GPS program on his laptop. Kongomuracho. The women will be here soon. They're on Mishima Street. He double-checked the address. They've got him at a cabaret, the Pink Peach, he said. Okay, I've been there, Golden Dragon said. Tetsuro gave me to a man there once. Craftsman stood up to hug her. It's okay. You aren't property. You're loved now, he whispered. Do you love me, even though I use you? She asked. Yeah, I don't like being used, but we're friends, he replied. I understand you've got issues and you're working through them. You're not alone. Thank you. I really do love you. And then the other sentinels entered. Wolfgal scowled at the sight of Craftsman with his arms around the whore queen of all Yokohama. Are we getting our Hiroi back, or are we playing Who's Queen of the Whores? Wolfgal demanded. Fuck you, bitch gal. I helped heal the harm you caused, Golden Dragon shouted. At least the only times I tied him up, I had consent, whore queen. That was not the time, Craftsman yelled. You make my men cry with your poisoned whore sex, Pendulum accused. You force them to have evil, not love sex with you. Don't you disrespect my sister. Not the time, Craftsman yelled. Do not force me to slap. We are rescuing, not playing who's the worst. Only one who hasn't hurt us is Oni Girl anyway. And his voice broke, he was so angry. Wolfgal pulled him away from Golden Dragon, pulling his hands to her breasts, glaring at Golden Dragon. Mine. The message was clear. Alpha Wolf Craftsman, she said. Craftsman kissed each of his women. They're at the Pink Peach. It's a cabaret. It's during business hours, so we need to avoid civilian contact if we can, Craftsman said. The big doors in the back are for booze and snacks. That's the entrance for us. Easy access to the basement and all that fun. No more waiting. Now we break their house and reclaim our Hiroi, Onikirl shouted. Golden Dragon led them to her cars. They were modified Lincoln Town cars. They were more like armored assault vehicles. Yakuza masks always mean the big guns. Golden Dragon handed Craftsman a submachine gun, which he refused. We don't do guns. She shrugged. Golden Dragon chambered the first round and pulled the sling over her shoulder. Gifts like ours don't stop bullets, my children, she said. Pendulum silently touched her bare shoulder. Neither does ink, Auntie. Golden Dragon laughed. How right you are, Pendulum-kun. We're all gamblers, aren't we? The freight entrance was not guarded, and the staff immediately found pressing need to be anywhere else. Thumping music was muffled, but Oni Girl heard it clearly enough. Wolfgal winced, covering her ears. That music tastes like date rape, she complained. Like scotch on the roofies? Craftsman joked. "Oh, I want your baby so bad," she replied, grinning, to show off her war teeth. They went downstairs. They only found two workers who were making out amongst the cases of liquor. "Office!" Golden Dragon demanded. "Stairs behind the stage," one of the men said, pointing a trembling finger. "Don't tell my girlfriend, Auntie," he pleaded. And then she stopped. "Toshiro?" "It's none of my business. I have a prawn to fry," she said. "You said you would tell her, you cowardly dog," the other man said, shoving him. Backstage, Oni Girl led past the dancers' dressing room. They left screaming women in their wake. It was around then the hero shook off the drug, surprised at how alert he felt. A man dressed in white with a veil over his face said, "Hello, my name is Zero. I'm actively nullifying your powers." Hiro ignored the veil and looked for Boss Man. He saw him. He was wearing Armani and a black mask that had to be held on with some kind of adhesive. "Why am I here, Boss Man?" Hiro demanded. "You are here because my daughter is in love with you. She has gone astray, and I want you and her and your team to come under my umbrella to get out of the rain. It will soon be monsoon season." "Chiharu? Nishidake-san, I never thought," Hiroi said with his mind scrambling. The door broke down, and Oni Girl stomped the steel flat as she entered. A goon was stabbing her and clinging to her to no visible effect. "Hiroi!" she yelled as Wolfgal pounced, dragging the Yakuza goon to the floor. His scream was cut off shortly. Wolfgal then perched on Oni Girl's shoulders like a gory gargoyle, snarling. Zero glanced over, and Oni Girl visibly weakened and began to bleed. "Interesting," Zero said. "Come in, everyone," said Nishidake. "Father!" yelled Pendulum. Golden Dragon nodded. "Zero, allow the peasant girl to heal. She'll bleed all over my carpet," Nishidake said. "Musashido, I offer an alliance. My family and yours. No interference, mutual protection against rivals and enemies." Golden Dragon considered. "We could kill you and your pet mask right now." "How are you doing, Zero? Do you have all of them? Maintaining?" Nishidake asked. "I could do this all night," Zero boasted. Goldenot tapped her gun. "I'm not hearing a reason to spare your life. Taking what's mine sets a bad precedent, Nishidake." Craftsman slowly crept to the side, getting a clear shot on Zero. "This is just a precaution for a safe meeting," the boss said, pointing at Hiroi. Craftsman clicked his teeth together 3 times. Only Hiroi and Wolfgal knew that it meant get ready. Wolfgal grimaced, her war teeth shrinking to normal. Her steel claws were readied. "We can coexist peacefully. My daughter can marry your boy toy. You and I can get along," Nishidake said. "This is why," Hiroi said, looking at Pendulum. "You didn't want us to know about your father's job." "I left that life. I live in a poverty garden. Don't take any of his dirty money." This emotional outburst was just what Craftsman wanted. He tased Zero, who fell to the floor, jerking. Wolfgal pounced, howling, on Pendulum's father, dragging him to the floor and holding her claws against his throat. "New Deal!" she screamed. "Beg for your life!" "I don't control her. She's crazy," Golden Dragon warned. "I've already killed your men. I liked it. I could kill you and laugh," Wolfgal said, and then giggled. Hiroi broke the cords tying him and pulled the taser prongs out of Zero's arm. "This is but one of many. I am not so easily destroyed. I am wheels within wheels, and my eyes are everywhere," Nishidake said. "It's his gift. He's Legion," Pendulum said. Would you trust a mere copy, though? I don't think I would, Oni Girl said. No deal, Legion. We walk out and declare war. Yokohama does not want your drugs, Golden Dragon said. Yokohama doesn't want your foreign whores either, Legion retorted. My prophets disagree. Kill him and let's go, Wolfgal. I don't take my orders from you, Wolfgal said, and she scratched Legion's face. So I can remember you. She kissed him then and licked up some of his blood before standing to give him a free look up her skirt and walking away. They left and climbed into the cars. War was an unpleasant wedding gift, but Akane Musashido was Craftsman's responsibility. She was one of theirs, and to the harbor sentinels, loyalty meant something. The pendulum was swinging again. Pendulum herself held Hiroi's hand to her masked cheek. He kissed her. I don't blame you for being ashamed, he said. Legion was holding a linen napkin to the 3 cuts on his face. The bitch had marked him. They would have their war, all right. The end, for now. For what it's worth, I think that Harumi did go to the light and will be reborn into a new life. But what about Miss Manta and Katsumi? I wonder what will happen to them as time goes on. Don't worry, the story's not over. Your story's not over either. Goodbye. Take my love with you.